What's happening, fam? L.A.R. movement still moving. Book is entitled Lessons from a Non-Custodial Father at Amazon, Kindle, and Create Space. A link will be in the description box below as usual. This video is entitled Is Consciousness a Fad Again? Being conscious or woke or whatever, people forget that this happened in the late 80s, early 90s. Where people got conscious, I think people got conscious in the 60s. And there was always something that came after people awakening, right? Us as a group and large masses of people awakening. So I got to ask the question now, is consciousness a fad again? Because what happens is something comes along, whether it's government interference, drugs, entertainment, to slow down, to lull people just back to sleep, and in some ways our own participation in putting us back to sleep. Because I remember in the 90s, it went from even the little kids in Boomerang, my brother, kings and queens, my brothers, my sisters, and they had the fucking hats and and the references. And I look at it, and then right after that, it got real hood. And that's what I see now. Like it's trying to get real hood, right? And the question isn't really about what's outside people may be trying to do. It's about us on the inside where, I remember at that same time, adults like willingly went back to sleep. It was cool with it. Like, I'm conscious. I'm woke. Brothers, sisters, let's stick together. Who NWA just came out. Fuck that shit. That's pretty much, we're going to see 5 Hobbies, New Jack City. I want to be Nino Brown, baby. Shit. Cash Money Boys. CMB, we all we got. Y'all never thought about Cash Money Records and Cash Money. You never thought about that, did you? The Carter, right? Names of the projects, right? Never thought about that. Whatever. Okay, anyway. The thing about it is, we have to ask that question, because right now I think consciousness is on a fringe, because one of the things about consciousness was, knowing historically where we came from to where we're at, knowing what we're up against, and knowing that we're all we got. So I think we got the first two, but the we all we got part, I don't know yet. We getting there. Some days we over here with it. Some days you over here with it. So is it a fad again? Because you see people in the conscious community, they would say are selling out or doing stuff that's unnecessary, because you would think the conscious community would have to be an example. And thinking about it, people forget, how overlooked people like John Henrik Clarke, Amos Wilson, Shahrazad Ali, Francis Cress Welsing, Claude Anderson, Khalid Muhammad, Farrakhan. You saw from the 80s to the 90s, it was like it was going up, and then it was just like everybody, like it just turned on a dime. And we have the same issue now, because to a degree, a lot of us gravitate to the shenanigans, and even, when it comes to the conscious community or people waking up, it's kind of that, people who are really conscious have a hard time reaching people, because there are people who are just coming into consciousness but I think in some ways, some people are too old to be stupid. And you could tell they're not exactly, like, some people who are conscious seem to be like the people who didn't want to study in high school. And now they finally picked up a book at 30. And now they spitting stuff that they should have learned at 16, you know. And I think that's a problem. I also think that I'm asking, is it a fad? Because when I think about consciousness, I think about black people working together economically. And one of the hardest things to do, one of the hardest things that people are fighting with, to me, just observing it, is supporting the black economic agenda or supporting non-black things that you still like so much, you know. So, you know, a nice name brand outfit from a non-black company, it might lose out to a nice outfit made by some black folks. It is what it is, you know. You know, a nice restaurant that has good food by some black folks might get out. Are you gonna post that you ate at this establishment that's black owned? You know what I'm saying? You know, but you and everything else, you in their steak houses and their seafood spots and their fried chicken joints. You know, you can be in Wingstop and you'll never say these people eat so much fried chicken. You don't do that. You know, you don't make those references, right? So, you know, they're Italian restaurants. Oh, this is classy. And that's what is consciousness a fad again, because you see this duality with consciousness is supposed to be a forward-thinking functional culture, and it's always fighting a backwards-thinking dysfunctional culture that we have. And when it's progressive and moving forward, it always gets drugged backwards because people find dysfunctional backwards black culture as more entertaining, so even we gravitate to it more, thus making the consciousness a fad, you know. And somebody and you see some of this, because this is why, in my opinion, you hear people sit back after a while and they start really thinking, and they say, man, why is it like this? What happened? And when did this happen? And it happened from this time to this time, and I remember it was like this, and then it was like this overnight. It's because consciousness became a fad overnight. People went from woke to comatose, and they woke up like, I know I was living this whole time, but I didn't see this shit. Yes, you did. You was participating in it. You know, 1 minute you was wearing the red, black, and green back to Africa change, and the next minute your ass was at Freaknik. That was you. You know what I'm saying? Oh man, well, what happened? They gentrified the area, and I don't know what went on. I went from wanting to be in the nation to I wanted to be a dope boy, and I don't know how that happened. That's the fuck you do. You know. I went from being a queen and to wanting a roughneck and wanting to be a 2 Live Crew dancer, and now I'm a grandmother. I don't know how this happened, Lord. Yes, you do. You know, and so what I'm saying is because some of us now kind of coming up in the reverse, where we probably had people who fell out of consciousness when they had us as kids. We become adults and we falling into consciousness, but dysfunction is what we know. Like I'm hood in the motherfucker. But you know, brother, brother, we gonna get conscious. Look, man, I held that conscious shit. But if you so conscious, why don't you stop all that hood fuckery you doing? Well, you know, this is who I am. You know, you can't take, you know, you can take me out the ghetto, but you can't take the ghetto out of me. So how you gonna be both? Like, how you gonna be both? You know, you gangster conscious, you ghetto conscious, you hood conscious. Like, well, how you gonna, what are you doing? You know what I'm saying? Like, people got to ask that question. But that's a tough question for some people to ask. And then, do you want to give it up? You know, let's be revolutionaries. Yeah, all of y'all ain't revolutionary. Like, some of y'all just talk revolutionary to hope y'all can get bought off. And, you know, that's part of the, when you see these celebrities who push gangster culture and now all of a sudden they conscious, and you're looking at them like, how you do that? Like, you knew you was doing bullshit back then, and all of a sudden you woke now? Are you woke because the check stopped coming in? Or because if you were still making as much money as you was 5-10 years ago, I really doubt you'd be saying the shit you saying right now. And then you see people vacillating back and forth, you know. This is my conscious outfit. And I'm repping the hood now today. Like, it's just, you know, this is why I ask, is consciousness a fad again? Because even in culture, we doing fashionable shit. I'm still trying to figure out, like, this generation who dyeing their hair and shit. You know, y'all, that's, you know, the the androgynous era. That's what y'all basically on now. Y'all gonna see yourselves as dads and granddads. You gonna put up them. You gonna throw away them pictures. Your dad was wearing skinny jeans and purple hair, and sagging with a sheer wife beat on. He thought he was thugging out in these streets. You gonna want to hide that shit. You know. So is it a fad again? I gotta ask these questions because the androgynous era was part of that too. We out.